Hey, check it. I'ma drop some knowledge upon you. Take note, cause when I'm done, you know I'm calling upon you. We're in the Gilded Age, sure that it was shiny, but listen, I'm here to let you in on what was under the glisten. Take the presidents, the guys that made their home in the White House. Them fellas might as well have had the clout of a white mouse. The Constitution gives the office power for days, but tell me, have you ever even heard of Rutherford Hayes? Hell no. You see, that's not where power was resting. It was privately incorporated, bought and invested. And so the men who called the shots, they were never elected. They didn't serve the masses who were down and neglected. And now that brings us to the topic here, the seminal question. The history you'll know before the end of the lesson. We're the leaders of the Gilded Age, captains of industry, or robber baron season on America's infancy.
Been spending most of life living in a gilded paradise. Just stacking cash up high, living in a gilded paradise.
First out the gates is a man on the mission, full of passion, creativity, and ruthless ambition. He was the father of the celebrated Vanderbilt line, and his ascendancy was built upon a potent design. Vandy started on the sandy shores of shipping and trade, but set a course upon a horse for where the money was made. Transportation was evolving, and Vandy could see it. There wasn't yet a mogul for trains, but he could be it. The mission started modest with the lineup in Harlem. He knew that every empire needed somewhere to start from. The turning point had happened on the HR bridge, when he shut it all down and held the whole city hostage. Vandy was a master of applying his leverage. While the competition panicked, he was sipping a beverage. And not a soul could stop him when the train was in motion, monopolizing steel rail, ocean to ocean.
Been spending most of life living in a gilded paradise. Just stacking cash up high, living in a gilded paradise.
Next up, the best of the immigrant lot. Climbing up and up the ladder, he would never be caught. You know, he started from the bottom, now he's top of the class. Give it up for Andrew Carnegie, kicking some astronomic Bessemer processing. He was harshest on the best of them. The competition schemed and the labor always tested him. The factory conditions, they were shocking enough, but dealing with the Baron was impossibly tough. Take a strike at the homestead, a perfect example. Workers dropping like flies, the contempt it was ample. But when the members of the labor union took their stand, 7 workers were killed and several hundred were canned. So you see, Carnegie was impossibly sore, the meanest of the mean, like Grant in the Civil War. So take a step back now and strike up a deal with vertically integrated Carnegie steel.
Been spending most of life living in a gilded paradise. Just stacking cash up high, living in a gilded paradise.
To impress the mass, we save the best for last. The richest of them all and the brass of the brass. Johnny Rockefeller up on top of the fold, building up a fortune with liquid gold. Labor toiled for oil, but they were never repaid, not even a penny for every dollar he made. The truest monopoly, the highest ambition, and using all the profits just to kill competition. Other lamps were damped out, other tramps were stamped out. The Rock would take a loss just to prove he was champ now. And then when competitors would circle the drain, he'd buy them up for nothing and get back in the game. When the government stepped in to even the field, to break up the trust and redistribute the yield, he didn't break a sweat, this is what he was made for. Turns out he had the government bought and paid for.
Been spending most of life living in a gilded paradise. Just stacking cash up high, living in a gilded paradise.
So listen, it's true they say that money is power, and it certainly was certain for the men of the hour. But while the government cowered and the workers were mad, the counterclaim will show that they weren't all bad. Take Vanderbilt, across the country blazing a trail road. The whole nation gained from the growth of the railroad. His legacy is built on more than fortune and fame. Just check out the university that bears his name. Then there's Carnegie, making more than money and steel. Wealth accumulation, only half of the deal. You see, he recognized the poor and the cards they were dealt, so he donated millions through the gospel of wealth. And finally, Rockefeller, trying to get the best of me, could see that giving back was societal necessity. So 500 million went to causes that range, and his money's still around fighting climate change. So you see, their impact really can't be overstated, even if their legacies are complicated. Undoubtedly the cause of despair and desperation, and yet they paved the way for a prosperous nation. To the question of the moments, the hours and days, heroic or villainous, which adjective outweighs? I'll drop a bit of knowledge here with one final rhyme. The answer is neither, they were men of the time.